Hello and welcome back to another quick information bite with your library learning comments here at Pikes Peak State College. I'm Larissa Powers. I'm your lead reference and research librarian here. And this video is going to dive in just real quick into searching with keywords within a database. So if you don't know how I got to the page that you're seeing here, you might need to step back and go look at our navigating to library resources video because it shows you how I got to our databases here. But this is the landing page for our 132 databases. You can see at the top, they're all separated out alphabetically by the name of the database. I am going to showcase here one that is located under the O, and it is Opposing Viewpoints in Context. This is a really excellent database for any of your synthesis research projects you might be doing, say, in your English or your history classes, or any other class where your teachers assigned you a persuasive essay, argumentative essay, comparing, contrasting two sides of a topic. This is really excellent for that, especially if you're looking at topics which maybe are controversial, which a lot of our persuasive and argumentative essays do look at those controversial topics. So any Gale database you're looking at really is going to look just like this. Gale also does American and world history in context. They have a biography database. So as you're looking through our collection, if you see anything that's run by Gale, this is the layout you're going to have. This is going to be really user-friendly for you. So scrolling down, if you are just formulating a topic for your assignment, you don't have anything in mind, it has a really good breakdown as you scroll through here of topics that you could explore. Just to kick you off, starting out with your topic formulation. I also want to highlight down at the very bottom here of any Gale database, it has what's called topic finder. So if you're like me, when you're given a long leash on an assignment, sometimes you get either this really broad idea that absolutely cannot be a 10-page paper, it has to be a book. Or you get this so hyper-specific idea, like research that's specific to the springs, for instance. There's very rarely going to be a lot of meaty research out there, specifically about how something is affecting teens or young adults in Colorado Springs. So Topic Finder here can help you broaden those ideas that are too narrow, or really home in on an idea that's too broad. So just pop in a random search. This is what's on our handout that we bring to our class visits with us, is this search, because it can be very, very broad. So I will just type that into Topic Finder here and hope desperately that it does load. There we go. So looking at the Topic Finder results here, all of these little tiles down at the bottom right, you'll see they're green and they're small. Those are subtopics that don't have a lot of articles underneath, but they are subtopics that have collections of articles that you could browse. So within climate change, you could look at specifically New York, and you've got 6 articles. So if you were interested in chasing that as your topic, 6 articles really, if they're all pertinent to your research, that's not a bad place to start, especially because within each of these articles, the person who wrote it is going to have cited another article that they used for their research. So you could really follow that rabbit hole as far as you needed to for your topic. But as far as formulating a thesis of your own, one of these bigger tiles will have a lot of subtopics, and you can zoom in as far as you want. You could stop here and say, okay, I know I'm interested in researching climate change, and I'm really fascinated in how that intersects with mental health. This is 45 articles that I can skim through. This is great. I'm going to stop here. But once you click in, you can see these bigger tiles have subtiles within them. So you could say, actually, you know what? I love the intersection of mental health and climate change, but I really want to see how it's affecting the Canadians. There's 6 topics just on that here, 6 articles that it's popped up just on mental health, climate change, and Canada. So I always love to point that out. It's such an excellent jumping off point for getting started with your research. But going back to the main page here, assuming you know your topic, you know what you want to find, We've done a video, hopefully it's also linked in your course shell, on keyword searching. So this is when you would go in and use your keywords for your topic, usually no more than 3 keywords. So it's going to get too convoluted. It won't give you results. These Boolean terms on the side, Boolean operators, are just 3 words: and, or, and not. So and lets you broaden the search by combining 2 different topics together. You could say, I want to look up climate change and global warming. Or makes it really an open search by saying it doesn't need to be this, it doesn't need to be that, it could be either. Climate change or global warming, give me what you got. And not helps you separate out 2 things that are closely related that you don't want to research both of. So I always use the example of mental health. If you're doing mental health research, you're probably going to get a lot of results that are involving depression. So if you specifically do not want your subjects to include results for depression, you're going to have to use the Boolean operator and tell it not depression. Once you've typed in your combo of keywords, scroll down here. You can filter out some results based on if you want, full access to the full text, or you only want peer reviewed. You can narrow down by date, you can narrow down by content type. My one caution with the filters is that if you start applying a lot of filters, you are probably going to end up with few or no results. So unless your teacher has said it really needs to be an academic journal, or it really needs to be newer than 5 years, I would say be careful with narrowing down your filters too much here. And then just a couple of special character things that we would include here. If you are searching for a phrase, you're always going to want to pop those in parentheses. So I had a student come visit me, I love this example, who was doing research on the space race of the 60s. And he said, I'm searching for space race in databases, and I keep getting results about space, and I keep getting results about racing, but nothing about the space race. So that is because for it to search that as one phrase, you really do have to put it into parentheses. That is what parentheses do, is combines all of the concepts into one phrase. If you are researching something that really needs to be exactly the order that you've put the phrase in, so it can't just search as a phrase, it needs to be precisely these exact words, you would put those in quotations. So if you said space race, all of the results would need to be exactly those words in exactly that order. And then one last little nugget. I don't know how often you would use it. Sometimes it might be really useful, and maybe you'll never use it in your life, but I love to tell people about it. A research tip called truncation. So this is for words that have the same stem, but a bunch of different possible endings. So I like to use the example of ECON, because as you can see already from the drop down here, there are a bunch of different ways that I could have ended that. Economic, economy, economics, economies, economist, economically. What truncation does is tells it search all of those. Because I could sit here and say economics or economy, or to make it easy on myself though, if you have something like that with a lot of different variations off of the same stem, if you put a star or an asterisk after that stem, it's telling the database search all of those. Any combination of letters that follows ECON and makes one word, search it. So that can be really valuable searching things to do, topics with childhood, children, childhood, child. There's a few different really cool situations where this is useful. Again, maybe you'll never use it, but I love to tell people about it because it does come in really handy sometimes to broaden your search results if you hit a wall. So that is really the quick and dirty overview of searching within a database. Highly recommend the Scale Opposing Viewpoints database, again, for your argumentative topics. We have a lot of databases provided by EBSCO that have switched recently to using a more AI integration to help summarize articles with just a few bullet points when you get your results. It's using more AI integration to make natural language processing something that might be able to happen. It's in its early phases. I still say get very comfortable with keyword searches because it helps you formulate your own research as well to boil down your big thought into just the keywords. But all of our databases, once you flip over into advanced search, are going to operate really similarly to this. So hopefully using those little tips and tricks will help you get the results that you're looking for. If not, remember, you can come to the Library Learning Commons and grab one of us to help you, or send us a message, an email. We have a 24/7 chat line on our webpage that you can ask me questions about, and we'll see what we can do to help you out with your research.